Canada immigration is changing rapidly. Rapidly may be an understatement. Today, again, there was another bill that was passed, which is called Canada Borders Act, and it is going to affect immigration in a major way. And it's primarily going to affect refugees and temporary residents. So, how's it going to affect temporary residents? Let's find that out. So, earlier, what used to happen was immigration, RCIC, could not share information with other departments internally or externally. Internally, it would mean that there were separate departments for study permit, work permit, citizenship, PR. There were separate departments, and due to privacy and confidentiality reasons, they could not share information, or there was no central database, right, which they could access. Now, as per the bill, they are going to be able to access the database. And not just internally, as I said, it's going to be available to other departments within the government. So whatever information RCIC sees pertaining to an applicant, that is also probably the information that ESDC will be able to see, and that is what Service Ontario, Service Canada, or other departments like health card department. All these departments will be able to see the information transparently related to the applicant, and it is a great step. They should have done this a long time ago. How is it going to help all the applicants? Now, earlier, when they used to assess applications, they would be dependent on other departments for information. The other department would send them the information, and then they would process based on the input from the other department. Now they don't have to wait. They will just enter some code, some random number. Maybe they will assign a number, or maybe with your UCI, unique client identification number, they will enter that, and they will see all the information in one place. And that will save them a lot of time. They will not have to depend on the other department to send them the information. So it is going to exponentially reduce the processing times. Citizenship applications, or for that matter, spousal sponsorship applications, are taking very long these days, right? They're taking more than 2 years. So these things are going to change in the future. It's going to be less processing time for applications. Good for all the departments. They will be able to see all the information in one place. And how's it going to affect the applicants? You know what? You cannot be inconsistent with your information. You have to stay consistent. You have to share the same information that you shared in your first application. Tell your citizenship applications. There could be like 4 or 5 applications that you may have to do in between these 2 applications, but you have to maintain consistency. You have to retain that information till you become a citizen, right? And that is why you must keep all the forms that you filled out from the very first application. You must retain all the forms with you so that you don't share wrong information with IRCC. Now, I'm not saying that most people do it intentionally. Sometimes you do it unintentionally. Just because you can't remember what you had mentioned in the first application, you'll go ahead and mention a different application in the second application, a different information in the second application. So, you want to be consistent, because that can be red flagged. They may think that you're probably trying to mislead them, or you're probably trying to conceal information, not share information with them. So, you have to be very careful with that. Number 2 is refugee applications. How are they going to get affected? So earlier, so people who had applied after June 24, 2020, and they applied 1 year after landing in Canada, they applied for a refugee status, their applications will not go to IRB now. What does that mean? So the way your refugee application works is that when you submit your application, it goes to IRB, which is Immigration and Refugee Board, and they then conduct a hearing, And in the hearing, they decide whether you could claim refugee status or not, right? A decision gets made in the hearing. But now they have removed that stage for people who applied 1 year after June 24, 2020. So that's sad news for those people. And now what they've said is that you cannot apply apply as a refugee after 1 year of landing in Canada. You have to apply within a year. And for people who are coming from the US, they have only 14 days. 14 days only. So if you're coming from the US, not the US citizens or the people who have been staying there legally, people who entered US illegally and then they're entering Canada illegally, they have only 14 days to claim that status, the refugee status, otherwise they can't. So immigration is becoming tighter and tighter, stricter and stricter. And, they're keeping immigrants at bay now. They don't want too many immigrants. What do you think what do you think the future of immigration looks like, or Canada looks like economically? Do you think immigration affects Canada economically in any way? I know a lot of businesses are suffering because of this. Real estate is number one. Some people would say yes, real estate, like property rates were already at a record high, and it's good that they have come down now. But there's less movement in real estate right now. And it's majorly because of immigration. Number two is we see a lot of restaurants that are not getting business. They're, driving instruction has been impacted. Construction has been impacted. There are so many businesses that have been impacted because of a low influx of immigrants. So what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is immigration going to affect Canada financially or no? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's chat in the comment section.